Today we're looking at a newly released 8-inch tablet, this time the Nokia T10. Pricing on this one is $169, but I'll leave a link in the description of the video with current pricing and more information. Comes in the same color as the Nokia T20, ocean blue. It's got an 8-inch fully laminated screen, 800 by 1280 resolution, 16 by 10 aspect ratio. Comes with an 8 megapixel rear facing camera, 2 megapixel front facing. It's got Bluetooth 5.0, it's got a headphone jack. There's also a 4G version that's got GPS, but the one I have here is Wi-Fi only. It's got dual band Wi-Fi. This one also has a 5250 milliamp hour battery. They're advertising all day battery life, so we'll have to test that. Only 10 watt charging on this one though. It's got 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage. You can expand that with a micro SD card, and it's got a Unisoc T606 processor. Surprisingly, this one actually has Widevine L1 support and is Netflix HD certified. Also has Face Unlock. It also comes with Android 12 right out of the box. Plus they're advertising you get 2 years of software support, 3 years of security updates. It also has 2 speakers, one on each side, and this one weighs in at 375 grams. Inside the box, you've got a quick start guide, product and safety information, micro SD card or SIM card removal tool, depending on which version you get. Also included is a USB-C to USB-A charging cable and USB wall adapter. Back of this is a plastic material. It's got nice texture to it though. Pretty similar color to the Nokia T20. Nice little camera set up there on the back. Volume buttons are on the right hand side. Power and the headphone jack is on the top. And then you got a speaker on both sides. USB-C charging on the bottom. SIM card or micro SD card tray there on the left hand side. The software on here actually looks very similar to stock Android, which is pretty nice in my opinion. The notification shade looks very similar to my Pixel phone. The nice thing is they don't put a lot of additional apps on here, mostly just the ones from Google. Swipe left of the home screen is your entertainment space, where there's a lot of stuff to watch, games to play, stuff to read, different stuff to listen to. Overall, just a pretty nice feature to have. You can watch YouTube videos up to 1080p resolution, HD playback resolution for Netflix. This isn't going to be the highest resolution screen out there, obviously because of the price, but I gotta say the screen on here isn't that bad. You also get a few gestures on this tablet. Obviously you can choose between 3-button navigation or gesture navigation. You've also got double tap to wake, lift to check tablet. You can press and hold the power button for the assistant. You've got most of your basic stuff up in the notification shade like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, do not disturb, flashlight, device controls, auto rotate, battery saver, airplane mode, night light, screen record, second screen, screenshot, nearby share, and second screen. And if you hit the little pencil, there's a lot of other stuff that you can add like extra dim, dark theme, mic and camera access, location, invert colors, calculator, bedtime mode, focus mode, storage, ExpressVPN, so quite a bit of stuff there. I'm not sure why, but this tablet doesn't really feel as fast as the larger Nokia T20. They might just be doing something the way the software works. I feel like this one might have more animations. Performance wise, this isn't going to be the fastest tablet out there. Here's what the Geekbench score is, just in case you're wondering. I feel like the performance is going to be good enough for most people. I just sort of wish they would have done the same thing on this that was done on the Nokia T20. Gaming performance is about what I expected on a cheaper tablet like this. Not the best, but still decent frame rates, good looking graphics, and it didn't seem to have any issues or glitches when testing PUBG Mobile, Asphalt 9, and Apex Legends Mobile, which is actually better than I can say for some more expensive Chromebook tablets that I've tested on the channel. Overall, I feel this tablet is about what I expected for the price, decent performance for a decent price. As far as screen quality goes on here, I feel like it's just okay, could be a little bit better in my opinion, also could be a little bit brighter, but overall not too bad I guess considering the price. Now I also did some testing with the battery life on here, and during my battery drain test, it lasted over 7.5 hours, which is pretty good compared to other tablets I've tested. Now keep in mind that's with the screen brightness at 100%. Turn that down and obviously you'll get better battery life. The speakers on here aren't going to be the loudest out there, but at least you have one on each side. Let me give you a quick sample just to give you an idea of what they sound like. Looks like a pretty simple camera app here. You've got video, photo, portrait. Actually pretty decent quality here in my studio lighting. Let me give you a few samples of photos and video just to give you an idea of what to expect. So it didn't take long to realize this tablet, just like a lot of other budget tablets, is not going to be that great when it comes to the cameras, especially in low light situations. Another thing I didn't realize is the front-facing camera only shoots 720p resolution, where you get 1080p resolution on the back. Not a huge deal, since I don't think tablets are going to be your first choice when it comes to cameras, but still something I like to point out. But I also think Android tablets sort of underestimate what people are wanting in a smaller tablet like this. If you look at what Apple is doing with the iPad mini, it's actually a really good device, even if it's a little expensive. All Nokia really had to do is put a 1080p resolution screen on here, maybe a little bit better performance, and then I think this would be an easy choice for 8-inch tablets. I'll definitely have to compare this tablet to some other 8-inch tablets coming up soon, so you'll definitely want to look out for those. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a lot of options out there at this size, but who knows, maybe there's going to be some budget folding phones or devices coming soon with decent performance. We'll just have to wait and see. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.